We are just about 24 hours away from a government shutdown. There are no votes scheduled for tonight. The House and the Senate are not in session. But House Republicans met for several hours this afternoon after failing to pass a bill to keep the government open this morning. I told you all about that in this video earlier today. Despite the House Speaker saying he had several options to keep the government open, by the time the meeting was over, the Republicans had no solid plan to avoid a government shutdown. So now what? Well, the Speaker said some interesting things after that meeting. And before I tell you what he said, you have to understand the Senate is still working on their bipartisan short-term spending plan called a continuing resolution that would keep the government open until November 17th. That plan would keep government funding status quo, plus add $6 billion for FEMA to respond to natural disasters across the country, and add $6 billion for Ukraine. The Senate is planning to take the first votes on this bill tomorrow, but because of the Senate rules, it probably will not get a final vote until late Sunday or Monday, which, as we all know, is well past the shutdown deadline. So if and when the Senate passes its bill, whether it's tomorrow, Sunday, or Monday, the House will also have to pass it in order to put an end to a government shutdown. Up until now, House Speaker McCarthy has said he is not going to entertain that Senate bill at all. But tonight, it sounds like he's changing his tune because he's all out of options and knows the problems he's going to face if the government shuts down. Speaker McCarthy said tonight, if the Senate strips the Ukraine funding out of its bill, he thinks he can get his Republican members on board and pass it. That would mean McCarthy would be abandoning the spending cuts and the border policies the Republicans have been fighting for. Now, it's unclear if the Senate has any incentive to change the bill they've been working on, which has wide bipartisan support. And the truth is, if McCarthy puts that Senate bill, including the Ukraine funding, on the floor of the House for a vote, it would absolutely pass with an overwhelming group of Democrats and Republicans. But if he does that, his far-right colleagues have already said they are going to file a motion to remove him as Speaker. Lawmakers will be back at work tomorrow, and it's going to be very, very interesting.